Top 5 best methods for beginner dog training. Getting a tiny little puppy that's excited and ready to play with you is always fun. After all, who doesn't want a cute pet to play with? The issue starts when they're not trained properly. They can start showing aggression and even urinate in places that they're not supposed to. Before you reach this point, it's better to just train your dog. In this video, we'll go over some crucial techniques you'll need as a beginner dog trainer. But before we continue, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon for notifications so you never miss an update. Let's begin. Number 5. House and crate training. The first thing you'll need to do is potty train your pet. That's obviously the first step since you wouldn't want them ruining any expensive rugs or your pristine kitchen. So before these pooches stink up your place, you'll need to work on the whole housebreaking or potty training process. One of the best ways to train your dog is called the crate method. The crate training process involves a regular crate that matches the size of your pet. This method is usually used to keep your dog confined when you're not able to supervise it. Basically, it's perfect for those who have a 9-to-5 job. When your dog gets used to the crate, there's a very small chance that it'll urinate or poop in the same place it sleeps. First, you have to introduce your dog to the crate. Make it cozy with a soft blanket and a toy. Then make sure to keep your dog confined to it. For this method, it's absolutely necessary that your crate is big enough for your pup. If you train it right, the crate won't be a cage, but your dog's favorite place. Throw some treats in the crate and encourage your dog to go in. Then close it for as long as they seem comfortable in it. Eventually, you can increase the time they spend inside, and voila, you have a cute and obedient dog to play with. Number 4. Leash training. Once you're done with the whole bathroom training thing for your dog, your next focus should be leash training. There is not one dog that doesn't like to go for a walk. In fact, they're biologically hardwired to sniff flowers and chase squirrels. Most areas have their leash laws, but in certain situations, a leash becomes a necessity for your dog's safety, such as when crossing a road. The first step to leash training is getting a leash. You'll want to get one that's durable and doesn't get tangled much. Usually nylon or chain leashes are the most common ones, but even leather is a decent option. When you introduce them to the leash, you have to start in an enclosed area. It can even be your backyard, as long as it's fenced. Once they get used to the feeling of the leash, they'll try to chew it to pieces since they might think it's a toy. When you're walking the dog on a leash, you might unconsciously pull on it. That is a major no-no. If your dog starts to associate the leash with punishment, it'll start resenting its leash more than ever. So it's crucial to never pull on it. If your puppy starts getting fussy, you can drop the leash and try to use a toy to distract it. You might get frustrated when your dog acts up during training, but you have to remind yourself to always be gentle. You wouldn't want your puppy to be scared of you. Take it slow, but keep it steady. Walking on a leash isn't a skill you can overlook, so training your dog to be comfortable with the leash as soon as possible should be your goal. And the only way to do it is by practicing often, even if it's for just 10 minutes every single day. Number 3. Clicker training. Clicker training is a common form of positive reinforcement. With just a simple tool, you can train your dog to behave like a good boy all the time. Besides, a clicker is much faster and more distinct than just saying good boy. And when you pair a clicker with treats, you have the recipe for a perfect dog. Usually, a clicker sound is paired with a treat right after, so it's even more effective. Basically, the clicker training method relies on the operant conditioning of animals. Operant conditioning is a scientific term for the way animals learn the consequences of certain behaviors. Once they start associating the clicker sound with treats, they'll repeat the behaviors they're being taught without any hesitation. You'll need a lot of treats for this, but you can opt for smaller but just tastier treats. For a cheap option, even small pieces of unseasoned cooked turkey or chicken will do. As long as your dog likes to gobble it up, you're good to go. After introducing your dog to the clicker, you can test if the clicker is working by pressing on it. And if your dog looks at you expecting a treat after the sound, well done. You're almost there. You can teach them basic commands with the clicker and end it with a treat and praise. but make sure the timing of your click is spot on so your dog doesn't get confused about what action led to the treat. Number 2. Basic commands. Sit, stay. Basic commands like sit, stay, roll over, and drop become essential as soon as your new puppy enters the house. These commands can even solve your dog's behavioral problems, and at times, they can even save your dog's life. Besides, it's not just the basic commands you can teach them, you can even teach them tricks like roll over and play dead to stimulate their little dog brains. Some of the most important basic commands you can start with are look, come here, leave it, and the one you'll need to use a lot, drop it. When you're done with these, you can even train your dog to shake paws, spin, and so much more. The speak command is a fun trick that can even fix your dog's excessive barking problems. The backup is a handy trick for a lot of situations, especially when your dog won't stop crowding you and you have to run to the bathroom. All you need is some patience and a handful of treats for this to work. Slowly, to engage your dog mentally, you can start training it to play games with you, such as hide and seek and even tug of war. And number 1, proofing training. When you finally finish training your dog to do any behavior, proofing is the last step. This is to ensure that your dog is trained in all situations, which means it'll listen to you in your living room, at the dog park, or even at your friend's house. When you've taught your dog a command, let's take the sit command as an example, you can start adding little distractions and level up situations. For example, you can practice the sit command with another family member in the room. Practice this a few times. Then, turn on the television during practicing. One by one, level up the difficulty of this fun little game so that your dog knows sit means sit no matter who's around or what's on. Moreover, you can practice with your dog in different places such as the park, the backyards, or even another room will work. Dogs quite obviously can't think as we do, so they don't usually know that a command holds the same power in every situation. These added obstacles are important for your cute little puppy to understand that they have to listen to you, even when there is a very distracting squirrel around. Whatever you do, be consistent at it. If you don't allow your dog to sit on your fancy couch, but sometimes you let it hang out on it, your dog will get very confused on whether the fancy couch is forbidden or not. Remember, think like a dog. And that's a wrap for the top 5 best methods for beginner dog training. Which one of these methods did you find the easiest or most helpful? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. See you in the next video.